Right now, there are new powerful explosions in Russia. Drones have attacked yet another airfield. The footage is spreading across the internet. And that's not all. A terrible terrorist attack in Russia. These explosions have shocked everyone. A railway accident. What is known at this moment? Let's go through everything step by step. Hello, this is Ukraine Today. I'm Renata Aslanova, and here are the latest events. Last night in Russia was once again restless. An unidentified drone attacked the Rostov region. A local airfield came under attack. The Russians know that in total, air defense systems allegedly engaged 15 drones, and the acting governor of the Rostov region reported that due to falling UAV debris, buildings in 2 yachts in the region were damaged. In one house, the roof was partially destroyed. In another, windows were shattered, electrical wires were torn, a shed was destroyed, and a car was damaged. A passenger car parked near a store also caught fire. And that's not all. There was a powerful explosion on the railway tracks in the Voronezh region. As a result, the railway tracks were damaged and train traffic in one direction was suspended. According to preliminary information, there were no casualties. The governor of the Voronezh region, Alexander Gusev, soon stated that several trains were stopped on the railway section because the driver of one of them noticed minor track damage.
I got a text message, something like a drone attack.
This is true. This is what I was afraid of.
We made it home. Damn, third trip.
And recently, there was already an accident recorded on the railway in Russia. The Russians claim these are explosions and have opened a case for alleged terrorist attacks. Russian telegram channels spread information that allegedly on the morning of June honest, a railway track was blown up in the Bryansk region. At that moment, a track inspection train was supposedly passing by. It is claimed that there were no casualties or damage. Local public pages citing railway workers reported that a railway bridge was likely blown up in the Bryansk region. The investigative committee of the Russian Federation announced that bridges in the Bryansk and Kursk regions were destroyed as a result of explosions. Later, Russian media reported that criminal cases are being investigated under the article on terrorism. Subsequently, it was reported online that the investigative committee of the Russian Federation removed the word explosion from its statement about the collapse of the bridges. The agency deleted from its Telegram channel the message that claimed the bridges collapsed due to an explosion and published a new one with different wording. But the troubles in Russia do not end there. Let us recall that on June 1, the Security Service of Ukraine carried out a special operation targeting key Russian air bases that are part of Russia's nuclear and strategic capabilities. The strike deep in the rear, thousands of kilometers away, became Ukraine's longest-range operation to date. President Volodymyr Zelensky reported that a total of 117 drones were used. They managed to hit 34% of the occupier's strategic missile carriers. Every voice matters. Join our community, support independent journalism and help us bring you the truth from Ukraine. Become a member of Ukraine Today. Join us now. Narrator, the Ukrainian armed forces are preparing to strike the enemy with new drones. The Ukrainian Shahed is now a reality. Ukraine has unveiled its deadly wonder drone, more powerful, faster and smarter than its Iranian counterparts. Ukrainian armed forces engineers have created a next-generation strike UAV that is already ready to hunt down the enemy. What can this UAV do and why is the enemy already in a panic? All the details are coming up in the report.
Narrator. The Ukrainian Shahed is no longer a fantasy or just a demand from the public to Ukrainian developers. Now it is a reality called the Batyr UAV. Engineers say that just half a year ago it existed only on paper. Today it is a fully functional drone that has passed testing and is already ready to go into mass production.
Colleague, today Ukraine holds a leading position in drone manufacturing worldwide. No other country in the world produces more drones than Ukraine. We produce more than China and we manufacture drones using locally sourced Ukrainian components.
Narrator. It is known that the Batyr drone has a range of 800 kilometers. This, by the way, is farther than the distance, for example, to Krasnodar, Voronezh, Volgograd or Saratov. And it more than covers the distance to Moscow. Initially, the drone was designed as a strike kamikaze UAV for long-range attacks. However, during development, the Ukrainian Shahed was decided to be made universal.
Designer. We can use the same drone as a decoy, a bomber, or as a frontline kamikaze drone. It all depends on exactly what kind of payload we put on it, and also on what software we use.
Narrator. It's almost impossible not to notice that the drone itself is visually and technically similar to the Shahed. And the designers do not hide the fact that they use the Iranian development as a basis, but replace the components with Ukrainian and Western ones.
Designer, let's start by talking specifically about this drone. Yes, it is smaller. It looks very similar because of the wing geometry due to certain design features to that same Iranian Shahed. In fact, only the sticker is changed. And when we talk about its future use, basically, this drone can effectively engage targets located at such a distance.
Narrator. Among the known characteristics is also the drone's warhead. Here, however, it is significantly inferior to the original Shaheds modified by the Russians. 18 kilograms versus 50 and in some cases even 90 kilograms. However, experts say that Ukraine was creating a weapon not against civilians but against military targets. And for such tasks, this warhead is more than sufficient.
Designer, not a single Shahed throughout the entire full-scale war has ever hit a military target. This is always terrorist equipment aimed solely at preventing us from living together. So when we create any kind of equipment, we immediately state that Ukrainian engineers are making it to target the enemy's military infrastructure.
Narrator. One of the main tasks the developers recall was to create a lightweight drone. By the way, the Batyar ended up weighing only 60 kilograms. It was also important that the UAV could be launched from a catapult or a vehicle in order to eliminate the need for bulky launch systems. They managed to achieve this as well. However, the developers consider its super feature to be the guidance system. It is claimed that when diving steeply toward a target, the drone is able, even if damaged, to stay on course and strike precisely at the designated coordinates. At the same time, it is known that Batyar is far from the only Ukrainian analog of the Shahed. Of course, not all developments are revealed to the general public, but soon there will be significantly more drones of this type in the armed forces of Ukraine.
Designer. Currently, about 5 to 10 different manufacturers have presented their drones, which in terms of their characteristics are actually quite close, or at least reasonably comparable in general to the Shahed drones, both in terms of flight range and the types of munitions they can use.
Narrator. As for those critics who complain about the smaller warhead of the Batyar compared to the Russian Shaheds, it's important to understand that Ukraine is not repeating Russia's approach by fixating on modernizing just one type of drone. For different missions, the defense forces use various types of drones, including those with much larger warheads, and importantly, these are also produced in Ukraine.
Designer. As of today, when it comes to Ukrainian drones, the range of models now exceeds 100 units.
Narrator. And the principle of our engineers to make things simpler, but in greater number allows domestic drones to be produced not just by the thousands, but by the hundreds of thousands each month. The same fate awaits the Batyar UAV.
Narrator, female. And what do you think about such drone attacks on important Russian targets? Share your thoughts in the comments. Hit the like button below the video and stay up to date with the main news. There's more to come.